Hello and welcome to Driversroom. This is the Festival of Speed, Season 3, Round 5 for Tier 2. Today we're coming from the Fuji Speedway, the full layout. As normal, just before we head on down to the grid, we'll take a look at the team stand-ins after Round 4. So, still in top spot, we've got Neon Knights on 168 points, but still hot on their heels, Team Firestorm on 156. Team Pegasus on 117 in third, with Team Non Plus Ultra close behind on 107 in fourth. JB Lads on 82 in fifth. In sixth, we have Big Scary Goat. They've jumped up from seventh place up to sixth with 66. And in last place, we have Team Sega, who's got 0 points last week, which dropped them down into last spot. So that's the team standings. Let's go down and see how the guys got the grips with the new machinery after the mid-season car swap in qualifying. On pole, we have Kim on Racing Super Softs. Not surprising, Kim is at the top of the grid yet again. This is now his fourth pole in a row. He's really showing his dominance over the guys in Tier 2. In second, we have Speed on Racing Super Softs. After a tough start to the DRFS season for Speed, he joined in sort of a few rounds in. He's really found his feet now, and pardon the pun, his speed. And finishing second to Kim in the last round. They start 1-2 again today. Can he catch the king in round 5 today? Also, he is part of Big Scary Goat. Obviously just hasn't quite got the livery for his Aston Martin yet. In third, we have Boss on Racing Super Softs. A steady season for Boss with some mid-table finishes and some podium visits. Starting from third, he's a great chance for another good result for Team Pegasus. He's obviously showing the switch from the Aston Martin to the McLaren F1 has not slowed him one bit. In fourth, we've got Nightmare Racer on Racing Super Softs. A podium last round for Nightmare after an epic battle with Grim, running side by side for about 3 or 4 laps. What can Nightmare do today from fourth? We will find out once the lights go green. In fifth, we've got Rocker on Racing Super Softs. Rocker missed round 4, but he's had a good season so far. Starting from fifth is going to give him a chance at really attacking the guys in front. There's another guy who doesn't seem to have missed a beat with the equipment swap. In sixth, we've got Big Shadow on Racing Super Softs. Big Shadow is the first driver who seems to have really benefited from the car switch so far. Shadow normally running towards the sort of back end to mid pack, and he's up in sixth today in quali. It'd be very interesting to see where he ends up at the end of the race. It's a great opportunity for him today. In seventh, we've got Jammy D, and he's running Racing Super Softs on the front and Racing Softs on the rear. Steady season so far for Jammy. Another decent qualifying season, starts from seventh. Let's see if he can push forward and grab some points along with Boss at the top end of the field. In eighth, we've got JC on Racing Softs. An up and down season for JC, having some great results with a couple of disappointing ones in between. Maybe not a great setup on the McLaren F1. Can't even see what I'm looking at on his F1 after the swap. But his race pace he has gotten, he's shown in DRFS. Let's see if he can climb up from 8th today. In 9th, we've got myself, Craig P, on Racing Super Softs. I seem to be saying the same things every time we come down to myself. It's season to forget. Not a great race at all in any category this season. Another DNF last round. Things just seem to be getting worse, even with the car switch. We're starting down in 9th, but we'll see if we can turn it around during the race. In 10th, we've got Jules on Racing Super Softs. Looks to be a pretty disappointing quality for Jules. Sees him start down in 10th. Maybe not quite got the setup right on his F1. He's capable of a much higher result in qualifying and the race. Still maybe suffering a little bit from the internet connection issues. Just from ourselves out to Virgin Media. Sort it out, fellas. Let's see if he can climb up the grid today. In 11th, we've got Terminal Goat on Racing Super Softs. Another round of struggles for Goat, sees him down in 11th. Maybe after the setup issues with his F1 in round 4, he's maybe got some setup jitters and hasn't quite got it right on the Aston Martin. Let's see how he gets on during the race. And down in 13th, we've got Jason on Racing Supersofts. Mr. Sunday looks to have had a horror of qualifying, but with his pace this season in the Sunday, he's more than likely going to charge through the field. We'll follow his progress with great anticipation. Maybe just the switch hasn't quite suited him, but we'll see how he gets on once the lights go green. So that's your lineup for round 5 at Fuji. Let's go down to the front of the grid and see how the guys get these new vehicles off the start line when the lights go green. So you hear the revs build as the guys are waiting to get away here in round 5, and they're off. Everybody seems to have got away pretty cleanly. Kim has dropped back. Speed and Nightmare and Big Shadow, a lot of them jumping him off the start. Kim's not got that Aston Martin away. He runs wide, and Speed runs wide coming out of the first corner. Big Shadow, look at the rise Big Shadow has had. He's jumped from 6th, I think it was, all the way up into 1st after turn 1. JC has followed him through into 2nd. Rocker is up into 3rd. Some guys have had a fantastic start here at the start of this race at Fuji. Big Shadow up to Rocker, making a move past JC up into 2nd. He makes it stick. JC's going to be on the outside here. Will he get attacked by Nightmare? JC holds on. So Rocker has got himself up into 2nd. JC dropped now down to 3rd. Nightmare crawling all over the back of him. Jammy D with a fantastic start as well. He's up into 5th. Jules has also had a great start. He's up to 6th. Kim has dropped all the way to 7th. What is going on for Kim? You see Jason's had a great start. He's up into 9th. So at the minute we've got the 3 Firestorm guys running nose to tail. Kim in 7th, myself in 8th, Jason in 9th. Speed, another one to have dropped all the way back. He's down in 10th. Boss is another one to fall all the way back, down into 11th from 3rd. Goat still struggling towards the back, and then Monroe a bit further back. Might have had an instant on the first lap. So we're into the 2nd lap, and we'll run through the grid quickly. So we've got a fantastic start from Big Shadow. He's up into 1st. Rocker now in 2nd. He's got JC quite close behind him with Nightmare and Jammy D. Rocker is the highest Aston Martin. He is surrounded by F1s at the moment. Probably going to feel a bit vulnerable down that back straight. Kamaru is now up to 6th. He's past Jules, who's now down into 7th. Myself in 8th. Right behind Jules with Speed right behind me. It just gives me a little bit of a booty tap. Jason is now down in 10th, Boss in 11th, Terminal Goat 12, Monroe in 13th, so that is how things have shaped up from the start. As we see, Nightmare taking, I think that's called evasive action there. He actually got reset by the looks of it. Kim now up into 5th. Where is Nightmare? Oh, he must have got reset. He's all the way down to 11th. So much going on these opening laps, everyone in so tight together. Big Shadow and Rocker now just starting to break away slightly from the pack behind as they're squabbling with each other. JC or Kim up into 4th now. He's past Jammy D. The King really is not hanging about here. He is looking to get back up as quick as possible to the front of this grid. 23 minutes in and I'm already short of breath. So we've got Jamie is now in 5th. He's got Jules stalking him behind. Jules just goes purple for the first sector there. The speed isn't too far, he's stalking behind. And we've got Jason now in 8th. He's got a bit of a gap back to boss. Nightmare up in 10th. Goat in 11th. Myself in 12th. Must have had yet more drama for myself. Monroe at the back in 13th. Can be a bit of a nightmare, these car changes. It's going to be a bit of a learning curve for everybody. That F1 is miles different to the Aston Martin. Rocker just running a little bit wide, and there you got JC with Camaro up alongside him. That Aston's not going to have the grunt to get past the F1. You see Camaro sensibly tucks back into the slipstream. It's not a place that you're going to get past the McLaren, unfortunately, in an Aston Martin, unless you've done wonders with the setup. The Aston Martin's advantage will be starting sort of through this section now as you get into the turns. It is a lot quicker through the turns than the F1. My opinion, of course, but as we see Kim coming up the inside of JC now, it's going to be on the outside for the left-hander, but he's able to get the nose right in and switch back and get up alongside. He's just ahead now, but it's going to be a drag race down this short straight, and JC slots back in front. Just goes to show there how much quicker the Aston Martin is through the corners. You see here now he's closing and closing to the F1. Would he have a look here in the penultimate corner, or just a little bit of a nudge? I think it's going to be a little bit too late now. Kim's going to have to wait for another lap, because again he's up alongside, but that F1's just going to pull past. Now, man on a charge as well, like we said would be, is Jason. Mr. Sunday is up into 6th. He's being chased by Jules, and Jules is in his McLaren as he looks to the outside. That's Jules up past Jason. Just the superior speed of the McLaren, and the slipstream got him through. Well, Jason dropped back down to 7th. You see Nightmare's now up to 8th. Speed in 10th. As Goat just slides past him. Got Boss down in 11th. Boss not having a fantastic run here today so far, as we approach 8 minutes into the race. And myself down in 12th. Still going, so that's a bonus. And Monroe in 13th. Check back in with the front. And we've got Big Shadow still in the lead. He's being hunted by Rocker. This will be a fantastic result for BSG if Big Shadow can keep this up. I think that should be their first win. You see a big power slide there coming at the corner for Shadow. Just give Rocker an opportunity to close up that little bit more. But as we've seen, even with the slipstream, Big Shadow should have Rocker covered down the straight. That F1 is just much quicker in a straight line than the Aston Martin. Rocker just stays behind. He's going to look to get a pass done through the twisty sections. You see Kamaru actually in the background there is finally past JC and broke away a little bit now. So Kamaru is now up into third. I'm sure these guys can see that behind them. The King is looking his throne back. He's looking first place after a dreadful start. So it was 2 at the front, now becomes 3 as Kamaru closes right up to the back of Rocker. Kim's actually holding the fastest lap at the moment of a 1:36.7. She closes right up on the back of Rocker there through the little chicane section. This is the short layout, no, the full layout, sorry. By full layout it means it's just that chicane. It's the only difference. It's probably about 100 meters, 200 meters at most difference. Maybe not even that, but Kim has closed right up to the back of Rocker now, coming down the start finish straight. We'll jump on board with Kim here as he looks to charge then after the Sega driver. Team Sega had a horror show in the last round. No points scored, but Rocker's looking to make amends for that as JC in the background jumps in the pits. So does Jamie. And Jules. There's plenty of pits going on now. Maybe a 2-stop strategy for those guys. They're stopping at the 10-minute mark. Now to see Rocker just make a mistake and run wide, and that's Kim through, and he's straight onto the back of Big Shadow. Just gives him a little nudge just to say hello, I'm here. Kim again, the tighter line out through the hairpin than the McLaren F1s can manage. Oh, Shadow goes diving across the straight. He just seemed to lose it also. Shadow has dropped from first down to third. That's unfortunate. But the King is back on his throne. There's Kamaru back up to first. Rocker's the only one who pretty much lost nothing through that. He was down to third momentarily, but then back up to second after Shadow's mistake. Coming through that fast right after the chicane. After hairpin, sorry. So none of the top 3 are heading in. They're all go. Shadow he's going to head in on the 11-minute mark. He's maybe had enough of them tyres. That's probably the reason why he lost out there. Just lost grip. Nightmare is also heading in. Terminal Goat now up into 4th. He hasn't stopped yet. He's got Jammy D right behind him, but his teammate Big Shadow is going to join in with this battle. So right now you got him 4th, Terminal Goat for BSG, Jammy D for Team Pegasus, Big Shadow for BSG, and Boss for Team Pegasus. 4th to 7th, all teammates of 2 teams, should I say. So we've got Terminal Goat yet to stop, and that just showed there as Jammy goes through. Up into 4th. It looks like Goat has led his teammate through and is going to try and hold off Boss. That's great teamwork there from Goat. He knows Big Shadow's just recently come out the pits. He led him through, but positioned the car well enough to stop Boss from getting through. Maybe do a little bit of rear gunner action as he just nearly loses the rear there. Try and let Big Shadow concentrate on running forward rather than coming back. Or looking back, should I say. As we see, the leader, Kamaru, is jumping into the pits, followed by Rocker. JC is already pitted. He's going to launch up into first place, as he also takes the fastest lap. JC is on a charge right now. Where's Kamaru? He's close. He's just ahead of JC. But JC has jumped Rocker through the pit stop stage. See if JC can take advantage of having warm tyres where Kamaru's is going to be still getting up to temperature. According to this, JC set the exact same time as Kim for the fastest lap. They both hold it at the moment. We'll check the timing screens. It still shows Kamaru. Maybe it's a glitch in the system. No, they have both set at 1:36.7. Interesting to see if that stands the fastest lap. Who actually gets given that as the fastest lap of the race? The game still thinks it's Kim, so we'll see how that develops through the race. And I'm sure they'll go faster as the weight comes off. Kim's managed to stretch out a bit of a lead from JC now. The cold tyres didn't really bite him too much. JC just runs wide through the last corner. It's so easy to do there. You try and stay as wide as you can to sweep back in. He's just got his left wheels onto the grass and round she went. That's promoted Big Shadow back up to third. He's looking to recover after that moment. Dropped him from first to third. You see Nightmare now. He's really putting the pressure on Jules. Nightmare's positioned up the inside. Bit of a twitch on the braking. Seemed to stop there. Maybe didn't know where Jules was. Or a glitch in the game. Fuji can be glitchy now and again. We got Jammy D in 7th after his stop. Goat is running in 8th. Boss in 9th. Myself up to 10th. Nothing spectacular. Speed has really fallen off this race. Maybe not got a setup at all on his Aston Martin. I don't really know. He qualified up in 2nd. He was looking all good for BSG. Lucky Big Shadow is up there now for them, but speed's dropped way down and just seems to have no pace. It's no consistency in the lap times there. Hopefully he can get a bit higher up the grid, but it's not looking good now as we're heading towards the 20-minute mark, so there's about 14 minutes left in the race. Jason Mr. Sunday also having a shocker here in the first round of the championship in his Aston Martin. Hopefully he'll be able to bounce back, do a few tweaks after this race. Maybe Fuji isn't to his taste. Not too sure, but we'll see how he gets on. And Monroe, unfortunately, way off at the back there. A little bit of a step back for Monroe, but again, with the car switch, it's not really surprising. There's a few people struggling today. This man isn't struggled at the start, but has managed to gather it back together since. Starting to walk away at the front again. And Rocker is trying to keep him honest. 137.1 from Rocker last time round, his personal best, so he's not going to let him get away with it lightly. Big Shadow trying to catch back up after such a fantastic start for him from the start. I mean, he started the way down in 6th, and by the end of the first corner was streaming away in first place. He was like lightning off the start. So we'll keep an eye out for that in the next coming rounds. Big Shadow and his starting ability in the F1. Oh, he just dips 2 right wheels onto the grass. JC goes through just before the corner where JC did it with the left wheels in the previous lap. So easy to do. Nightmare in 5th, Jammy in 6th, Jules in 7th, trying to catch the 2 in front. Boss in a little bit of an area by himself now in 8th. the same for Goat in 9th. And you got myself in 10th with Speed just behind in 11th. And Jason trying to close up on 12th. See, Speed sets the fastest lap of the race with 1:35.6. Unbelievable. He takes the fastest lap. Probably a little bit of slipstream from me. As you see, I just take some other line across the grass. And Speed definitely has the speed, pardon the pun, but just maybe not getting the consistency down today. So we got Kim in first. Rocker is starting to close on Kim. The tyres are pretty even between the two of them. Rocker just negotiates Monroe, who dives well out the way. Then a little bit behind, then you've got JC, Big Shadow, and Jammy D. This is developing into quite the battle. Anybody who's too stubborn will be thinking of coming into the pits, which looks like JC and Jammy D are doing. That's going to release Big Shadow. Promotes Nightmare Racer and Boss. Let's see where those two feed out. As you see, JC just coming out of the pits now. That's him out in 7th with Jammy behind. They've got Terminal Goat just in front of him. So the little battle we did have developing was destroyed by pit stop strategy. Thank you very much, gents. JC now pushing hard, trying to get on the back of Terminal Goat. Wants to push hard, take advantage of his fresh tyres, but also doesn't want to take too much out of him. Wants to still have an advantage over the one-stop guys coming towards the end of the race. As we're now into the last 9 minutes of the race now. Sure, should be no more stops unless somebody's got the strategy quite wrong. Jammy really harrowing now. He's ready all over the back of JC. See, Goat ran real wide there through the last corner, let both the F1s through. And now you've got Jammy D and JC side by side. Oh! Oh, Jesus. I don't know whether Jammy D didn't see JC, but he should have known he was there. He just come across straight on front of JC, and that's pretty much ruined JC's race now. Unlucky for the man there. So that's Jammy D up into 5th behind his teammate Boss in 4th. So his team Pegasus is 4th and 5th. Although Nightmare Racer is right behind Jammy now. And Terminal Goat's not too far away in 7th. Oh, excuse me. So we're head to the front of the grid. And we've got Kamaru in 1st. Running away. His tyres are looking okay, a little bit worn, but he may, depending on what people behind, as we see Rocker's jumped in, so that's going to mean Kim's going to be given a free pit stop, so expect to see maybe Kim jump in the next lap. He's got a free pit stop now over the rest of the guys. He's on a big enough gap back, he should be able to get in and out and ahead of Rocker. No, Rocket has come out on a new set of super softs. He's just scrubbing in as he slides around the first corner on the cold tyres. Boss now up into third. Great drive from Boss so far after a real horrifying qualifying. He is up into third and running well with his tyres. I mean, look at them, they're hardly worn at all. He should be set to go to the end of the race. Same for Jamie in fourth. He should be able to go to the end of the race. He's on racing softs and hardly touched at all. Nightmare, after his recent stop, he's going to be fit to go to the end of the race as well. As we've got 6 minutes left, he's really pushing Jamie. You know, Jamie's on the slower compound, so Jamie runs wide there, and that's Nightmare through and up into fourth. Well, Jamie isn't backing down. Is he going to have a look? You know, he sensibly just puts the brakes on enough to hold back. So he's going to have a lunge down into that tight right-hander into the chicane. Good. As you see, Kim there jumps into the pits. He had that free pit stop because Rocker was the closest man to him. As he comes out, and he is still comfortably ahead of this man Rocker. So that's those two to the end of the race. Probably going to finish like this unless there is a mistake from one of them. Boss with a great gap, as you see a gaggle of cars diving into the pits in the background there. Well, they didn't. It was actually only Terminal Goat. The rest were following for Slipstream. Jamie is down to fifth now as Nightmare makes a lovely move up the inside of turn one. Jules does the same on Big Shadow, so Jules up to sixth, Shadow down to seventh. Speed now in eighth. Terminal Goat in ninth. He's put some new tyres on. Jason is now in 10th. JC, after that incident on the start-finish straight with Jamie, is down in 11th. Such a shame. He was running well today. And we've got myself in 12th, still going, which is positive. And Munro in 13th. As we're down into the last 4 minutes, this man is the man of the day. Such a horrifying start. Just fell like a stone backwards. Maybe in the wrong gear or just a bucket of wheel spin, but his Aston Martin did not want to get away. Everybody swarmed around him, but he stayed calm, didn't give up, battled back through, and is comfortably now in line for his, I think it's 4th straight victory, 3rd at least in a row. And yet another pole to win run for him. A great race from Rocker. He missed last week, but he's really making up for it today for Team Sega up in 2nd. Boss as well, another driver who's had a fantastic run here today at Fuji. He started way down the order. Oh no, sorry, he didn't. Ignore me. He qualified in 3rd, but like Kim, had a horrifying start. I think he was actually down to 11th after the end of the first lap, and then we back up in 3rd. It just goes to show if it doesn't go right in lap 1, it's not over. Keep going, get your head down, you can get some fantastic points. Although this man is going to try and put the pressure on him for the remaining 2.5 minutes. So got about 2 more laps, see if he can get past him. Jamie doesn't seem to be able to respond, the Nightmare, so he looks like he's set for 5th. Shadow has had a up and down race, but if he finishes in 6th, it'll be a definite improvement for the BSG team. That's 3 teammates, so we've got Big Shadow in 6th, Speed, who is part of that team but just doesn't have delivery today, in 7th. And you got Terminal Goat in 8th. Jules and Jason are having a boat. Jules just bangs the back end of the F1 out. Jason is up past him, although Jules will have the speed to get past. His tyres are destroyed on that thing. No wonder Jason was able to get past. Oh, Jules, I think Jules wanted to go in the pits at the last minute. That's a great pit entry from Jules. 10 out of 10 for that, buddy. 10 out of 10. JC has got myself behind. I'm going to have a look down into turn 1, and JC just doesn't really fight it too much. He sees the overspeed and lets me through. So that's myself up to 11th, JC down to 12th. JC, I'm sure, will fight back over this last lap. And we probably won't make it round for another one, as we've got just over 30 seconds left of the race. So Kim has come round to start on the last lap, comfortably ahead of Rocker now. Rocker's also going to get one more lap in. Boss he should make it over. He's going to get another lap in here. He's got Nightmare right behind him. He'll be hoping Nightmare maybe doesn't, but I have a feeling they both will. Yep, it's just going to be a last lap shootout between Nightmare and Boss. Jammy gets another lap in. So does Big Shadow. And Speed. Goat's going to be the first to finish in 8th. Jason's going to finish in 9th as he goes for the big handbrake. Jules is struggling to get the power down there. He's going to come home in 10th. Myself in 11th. JC in 12th. Monroe is finished in 13th. And Kamaru is coming round to finish his lap. Boss is still ahead of Nightmare. Nightmare's actually struggling in the background. Huge power slide out the hairpin. Jammy is going to close in a little bit. Big Shadow can't catch up. They're all spaced out now as we just join Kamaru as he comes around the final turn to head down the start finish straight to take round 5 for himself and Team Firestorm. Again, another fantastic drive from Kim. A bit of a horrifying start, but he kept his head down, powered through the field to take another pole to race win victory. Rocker coming home in 2nd. Fantastic race from Rocker. Thoroughly deserved for that man there. Boss, another guy who had an horrendous start, gonna come home in 3rd. Both Kamaru and Boss showing that if you just get your head down, don't panic, good things will come to you. Nightmare coming home in 4th. Jammy in 5th. Big Shadow in 6th, and Speed in 7th.